I'm on my way to Port Lincoln to eat some white shark steak. Hello, adventurers. My journey starts in Adelaide, where I take a flight to Port Lincoln, the Australian capital for white shark diving. I have just landed in Port Lincoln. Port Lincoln is a lovely town, and I take the time to explore before the big day. I find my way to the premises of the charter company. It is 4:45 in the morning, and I'm about to leave my hotel room to the Calypso Star Charter Company premises. Today is White Shark Day. The big day has arrived. After registering at the company's office, we board the ship. The diving cage is ready. Julie has joined me on this adventure. We leave at dawn. It feels great to be outdoors in the middle of the ocean. It is a 3-hour boat ride to the Neptune Islands, where we hope to see sharks. Upon arrival, the crew lowers the cage into the cold water. Bloody shark bait is cast in the water. Within 30 to 40 minutes, the first sharks arrive. The first thing that strikes me is how big they are. When we arrived, big schools of fish started circling the boat. Some of those fish were so big that I initially thought that they were sharks. However, when the first sharks arrive, their size comes as a shock. The size of the first individual that we see is estimated at 3.5 meters. The bait works well, and dorsal fins start emerging. The second striking feature of these animals is their stealth. You can hardly see them, and yet there they are. They are designed to be invisible hunters until the moment they rush up from the dark depths to seize their unsuspecting prey, which would have never seen them coming. It is chilling. A bigger individual arrives. Its size is estimated at 4.5 meters. Impressive. There are more than 50 people on the boat, and we're divided in 6 groups. Julie and I are in group 5. Finally, our time comes. Soon time to go in. We go down into the ominous cage. Oh! The first shark! The experience is disconcerting. There are so many fish that I can't see any sharks. It feels like being in a washing machine. It is nauseating. The cage is constantly moving in all directions, and because of the diving suits, we tend to float to the surface. It is impossible to remain stable in the cage. Because of all the fish around us, it is hard to see where the sharks are, and I feel as if we're starting to play a long and giant game of Where's Waldo. Eventually, I somewhat stabilize, and I can finally start observing the sharks. It is chilling to realize that, even with such a good weather, visibility in the water doesn't exceed 15 meters. Those giants are around, but they do make sure that, for the majority of the time, they can't be seen. Their operating mode appears simple. They circle the object of their interest in a slowly tightening upward spiral, starting from an invisible depth to occasionally a startling close-up. They are hidden behind the thick curtain of fish, and occasionally I can make out their shape in the murky water. Their darker back creates a definite advantage for these hunters. It provides ideal camouflage when they are down deep. You can follow them with your eyes for a while and then lose them in an instant until they reappear out of nowhere. With time, I become better and better at spotting them in the water. And at following them in their wide circles. They tend to stay deep, and I need to bear in mind that I need to keep looking down in order to see them. Despite their elusive behavior, I managed to see them up close quite a few times. After about 50 minutes in the water, I've had enough of the turbulence. I'm ashamed to say so, but I vomit in my respirator. And this marks the end of the dive for me. I need to go back up. I feel so nauseated that anymore. And my whole lunch will come back up to be fed to the fish.
So, your verdict.
This is a very quick series of photographs taken on the same day. On that day, we saw a total of 4 individual sharks. Their sizes ranged from 3 meters to about 4.5 meters. These sharks were magnificent. The day draws to an end and we make our way back to Port Lincoln. Overall, we will have stayed 14 hours on the boats, and by the end we were completely exhausted, but profoundly happy. As you've guessed, I haven't eaten any great white shark steak, but it surely was a feast for the eyes.